Welcome back to No, I'm Just a Worm with your hosts, Anne Jeanette.
Yes.
And in this week's episode, we're talking about childhood traumas and where they stem from. Because this is always a fun topic. I like the psychology behind why we fear what we fear. And it's just, it's endless. You can just dive deep into all the shit that goes wrong with you.
Everyone's gonna watch us again.
Huh?
No one's gonna want to watch us again after this episode.
Yes, they will. But so we thought we would revisit what we were talking about in our last episode. We had challenged each other to watch movies that the other loved, and Jess fulfilled her end. But
Yeah.
I'm an asshole, so I haven't watched Ever After yet. But I intended to. There was just a snafu with Steven.
Okay. Even.
Constantly. But your thoughts on Love Actually?
All right. So I didn't hate it. I didn't love it.
I like
um.
how we start out with a breakup now instead of
Yeah.
ending.
It's
It's
just the cycle of like we break up, we get back together, we fight, we break up, we get back. Like by the end of it, we'll be back together. It's fine.
we were on a break.
No. I guess somebody before, like I think there was too many storylines. And like you said, I mean, all of them are interconnected in some way. All the storylines like converge at the very end together, which is kind of cute. But so just I had a hard time like especially in the very beginning of like where's this going?
Mm.
Like what is the point? Where is this going? Why are there so many damn people involved? Some of it was very predictable, I think, in the beginning. Like the one guy who falls in love with a girl from Prague. No,
Oh,
Port-
Portugal.
yes, that was like he's sitting there trying to like kiss his girlfriend goodbye or whatever, and she's like, "No, I'm sick." No, I'm like, she's waiting for you to get out so you can go fuck somebody else. Like it's very obvious.
Yeah.
So there's some definite like, all right, like I see where this is going. But I don't know. I mean, there's like a couple of that I liked. I didn't really like his as a whole, but I liked the way his ended. So I thought it was really cute, like when he went to go like to her village and he's learned Portuguese and was trying to like, hey, I just want to date your daughter, and it turned out like, can I marry your daughter?
Yeah.
And then sister comes over and he's just like, she's like, I don't know who he is. He's like, whatever, he wants to marry you. Like, get out of the house. But it's
Yeah.
like by the restaurants, like the whole village behind them, and it turns into like this English man wants to marry like whoever, and then at the end it's like, he's gonna go kill her, and everyone's like, cool.
Yeah.
Like what?
Yeah, that one was like that was kind of cute. That's where sometimes I say just in cases because and like I got that from the movie because she learns English for him where he
Right.
was learning Portuguese for her and I thought that was kind of cute. And he was like, "Oh, you learn English?" She said, "Just in cases." So cute.
Yeah, so their ending was cute. I really like Liam Neeson and his really stepson, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean I like their storyline. It was like super cute, especially in the airport. And I like too like how I always refer to him as Mr. Bean, but
Rowan Atkinson's character.
yeah. He will always forever be Mr. Beans to me. But I liked how he had that small part like at the jewelry store where
Mm.
Alan Rickman's character was trying to like on the down low buy jewelry for his mistress, which is why like I hated that fucking storyline.
Yeah.
How like he ended up at the airport though to like help them out of like, yes, my ticket's here somewhere. Here's this. Hold this. Here's that. Go. Go.
That's what I kind of like I was saying earlier was that the more and more you watch it, you see how all of the different characters interact with the other like storylines, and I thought that was kind of cute. Like oh god, the kid who goes to America, his friend is the director of the softcore porn. Like they all kind of like are intertwined, kind of like that movie Crash, but
Yeah.
I like this movie better. But the story with Emma Thompson and Alan Rickman like breaks my heart every time. And whenever I listen to that song, that Joni Mitchell song, Both Sides Now, like I picture Emma Thompson crying and it makes me sad. And I read like a little tidbit on that scene. People would always ask her like, how did you make it look so heartbreaking? Well, one, she's a good actress, but two, she like pulled from her own experience in like the person that she was with cheated on her.
Uh,
So she pulled from that real life experience, and that's what she was crying about in that scene. That's why it's so believable, and that's why it's so heartbreaking. And then plus, it's fucking Alan Rickman breaking your heart.
yeah, that's why I don't know. I didn't like the way that the way that they wrote his character and the character that he played. So I don't know, but I mean, like I said, I like the ending. I think the best of like watching everyone's storyline come into play and where everyone's at, and like their little love triangles and the different aspects of love too. I thought was interesting. Like Emma Thompson and Alan Rickman's, long time. They've been married for a long time. They had like this, kind of strained relationship a little bit of trying to find the passion again
Mm-hmm.
and how that can play out. I'm horrible with character and actors' names, but the one girl that works for Alan Rickman who's like, hey, how long have you been in love with so and so?
Oh yeah, that is also a heartbreaking one
Yeah.
because they like, oh, they're like about to get on, and then like
Yeah.
and that kind of the fact that the love that she has for her brother and the fact that that love is so in a way codependent because they moved from America to to the United Kingdom, and like because he's in like essentially an assisted living facility, she can't really, she feels that she's completely responsible for him and can't let him go no
That
matter what.
that one made me angry. That one like made me really frustrated because I'm like, it's like you said, so codependent. It's obviously in a relationship like that, like they're always going to be a little bit ahead of whoever you're romantically with, which is fine. But like, I'm like, you don't have a life. Like you're denying yourself your own happiness and your own life and your own relationships that are so important. Like that's going to affect your mental health and your own personal growth too. And like she had somebody who was willing to, like her dream man, be with her and maybe work it out. And she just like didn't even try.
Yeah,
Like
but
didn't even try.
I like the fact that not every storyline had a happy ending because
Yeah, it was realistic.
it was that yeah, like I said, it's more true to life, and you are going to have people like her character that are going to choose the codependent life that she has rather than they're going to think about some like their loved one before thinking about themselves. And that's like a lot of people do that, have done that. And in the end, the co-parenting that Alan Rickman and Emma Thompson's character essentially have to do, and like that's also like true to life. Like I think it kind of you realize that the more and more you watch it, and that's kind of like I watch that every year, normally around Christmas because it's a Christmas movie. But yeah, I that's why I thoroughly enjoy it. Like you have the silly storylines, you have the more heart wrenching storylines, the ones that are true to life. And
Yeah, I will give you that. Like it was a romantic movie that was, like you said, a little bit more realistic on what love is. Which I mean, obviously the title's Love Actually, but like you said, I think I did appreciate how they pulled in different types of love.
yeah,
Love for family members, love for childhood love. A little kid just being like, I'm in love, and it's so painful, and it's so awful.
I
It was down.
know.
Yep.
Him learning the drums specifically for his crush, and just showing the relationship that can blossom between a stepfather and a stepson, especially after losing the love of his life, his wife, and like the kid's mother. And he was at a very young age and trying to like go through that where he, I think because she was sick, I believe.
Yeah, they definitely alluded that she was sick because they knew. He kept saying like they had plenty of time to prepare.
Yeah,
No,
but
but
like the fact that like the kid had kind of, I guess he was already coping before the loss of his mom, and now he just like this whole I'm in love with someone came on top of it, and he didn't really know how to deal with that. But it just the how Liam Neeson's character can kind of cope with losing his wife by bonding with his stepson. Like,
but I love too like how he fostered it. You know what I mean? Like he
mhm.
could have handled that so many different ways, especially grieving the loss of the woman that you come to love. They could have went like, yo, you're too young, you'll get over it. You know what I mean? Like you have no idea what love is. Like he just went along and was like, yeah, like how are we gonna get her? What's going on? Like run through the airport, dodge security, it's fine. Like go
Yeah.
get her. I thought awesome. That was so cute. Like they were probably my favorite like storyline.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I really like that. Like, and I think that's kind of why the little feel good moments that you have watching it. That's why I keep going back to it. And to laugh at the kid that has a backpack full of condoms going over to America because the American girls are sluts.
Specifically Wisconsin girls.
Yeah.
When they said they were going to Wisconsin, I lost it. I was like, I honestly wasn't expecting to go the way it did. Like I was expecting him to just walk into like 3 or 4 really fat, burly guys and just like, oh, no women in this town, huh? All
Yeah.
right.
But yeah, when it ended up being that, I was like, oh my god. And just the fact that that guy is also in Death at a Funeral, the original one, not
Yeah,
the remake.
yeah.
Um, he always plays these goofy fucking characters, and I love it.
So I mean, overall, it was okay. Like I said, I mean, I think if I were to watch it again, um, probably appreciate it a little bit more, pick up one more some of like the little nuances, but there were just a couple of the storylines where I just got so frustrated with it. I was like, it's almost like you're ruining this movie for me.
Oh god.
But no, it was cute though. Like I said, I think I like the ending the most.
Yeah. Just the way that they tie it all up, and but like there are
Yeah.
cute moments like when Hugh Grant's character is Jump Free Love, like he's dancing to that song.
Oh yeah. I like that too. And I like Leah said when they went like door to door to try to find, this girl. He's like, I just know she lives on the street. I don't know her address though. And then she cracked me up. She just almost kind of reminded me of like myself a little bit of just the way that she acts of like at work, trying not to curse and act like a complete asshole. So you're trying to be professional and her just like, where's my fucking gun?
Yeah. It was endearing. I liked her character. But I will watch Ever After before the next episode, and I will report my findings.
You better.
Would this face lie to you?
All the time. No.
Not all the time, jackass. But we also have some new pet peeves. Well, maybe not new pet peeves, but like pet peeves we've always had that we haven't discussed yet. The
You
other
seem
day,
very about this, so the segment's all you.
well, I guess because whenever something annoys me, I was like, aha, podcast fodder. But so I don't like when people don't use their words. So Steven is guilty of this. So he'll just be like, like what?
Oh my,
What?
does the same thing.
fucking words. I get so aggravated. And literally, it could go from like, playful attitude. You go like, immediately, I'll shut down. I'll be like, I'm not playing anymore. Yeah, I don't. I don't know why. I don't know why it bothered me. You're a fucking grown ass adult. Use your words.
Yeah, Will. I'm pretty sure you've experienced his
Yeah.
Pretty sure that. Yeah, I'm just like fucking starved to death. Like, go feed yourself. You're that goddamn hungry.
Like I flames inside my face. Anytime I've seen Will do that, I'm just like, oh, I'm gonna throat punch him for her. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna love it.
Do that, and then he'll like, and it's always around food or something that he wants. Like, I'll be sitting on the couch, and he'll just start to like try to be cute and like cuddle like a cat, like baby, baby. Like, what do you want? And I think that's what gets to my nerves too, because I'm like, you don't do this just to cuddle and be affectionate. Like, you do it because you want something. Like, what? And I'm sure whatever it is, I'm gonna say no. Like, just because you're already getting on my nerves.
Oh, I'm pretty sure I'm guilty of that. Because I'll be like,
yeah,
baby,
do it.
Baby, and he's like, what? So
yeah, no, I mean, I'm probably guilty of stuff that's just equally as annoying. But those two with him, I'm just like, just tell me what you want. Just tell me, please tell me. Please.
Like that scene from the Notebook. Just tell me what you want.
I don't know it. Yeah.
What?
Whatever this.
You
never watched
that's
this.
Right.
Well, I don't like it when people can't read signs that are right in front of their face and then they act surprised.
Oh my god.
So I was at Wise last week. So I went to Wegmans first, and they didn't have hardly anything I needed. It was the most disappointing trip to Wegmans I have ever experienced. So I went to Wise. There's a Wise by my house I keep forgetting about because it's kind of off the beaten path, which is why I think they're so well stocked. I keep remembering to go there. But I went in, so like for protection, they have just one entrance. It's just for an entrance. And then the other side's just for an exit. And they have everything like roped off and the doors shut down so people can't like, oh, fuck it, I'm just going to go in this way anyway.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, there are signs everywhere. I mean, fucking everywhere. So I go in, do my shopping, I'm leaving, and I'm watching this guy walk towards the outdoor where there are signs everywhere. And he's just like, pulls in the door again. I'm like, dude, really? And then he's looking at me and I'm like, I'm not opening it for you. So I like opened the door. I just kept fucking walking and completely ignoring. He's like, oh, exit only. Trying to like talk to him. I'm like, nope, you're a fucking idiot. Like, I bet you lick door handles too. Like, I don't know why it just pisses me off because it went
lick door handles too. The fuck?
I don't know. Looks like a guy who's gonna lick door handles. That's just the type of impression I got from him because it went on way too long. It went on way too long. It wasn't like he just wasn't, paying attention. He just used to go in that side, pulled it once, was like, oh shit, okay, and then went around the other side. That happens, like whatever. Yeah. That went on long. I mean, he pulled at least 5 times, was just getting mad, and I'm like, dude, it's read the sign that's right in front, like literally right here. Read, walk around the other side. Like, your second pull should have been an indicator that it ain't happening.
That same thing happened with Steve at Wegmans the other week. They have a similar setup where they have the one side you can enter only, the other side you can exit only. But they have people, these poor employees, standing outside, both of
Yeah.
them. So in the entrance, there's someone that makes sure that only one person can enter in at a time, or like since it was Steve and I going in, it was like we were entering at the same time. So whoever's coming in, they grab a cart, wipe down the handles, get hand sanitizer, and they go in. And outside of that entrance door, there are circles that you have to stand. They're 6 feet apart and all that kind of stuff. But there are people that weren't paying attention to that, and or like they were trying to go in when there's this employee standing right there. So we go in, and I was telling him, I'm like, okay, there's a big sign right here that says we have to get hand sanitizer. Okay, we go in. We do our shopping, and we were going to go use the self-checkout. And there's a big sign before the 4 little things that say you have to wait for the person to tell you which one you can go to, because they sanitize everything in between each person. So he just starts walking. I'm like, babe, like, literally, the sign is right there. It's about as tall as we are. And he's just like, oh, I didn't see it. I'm like, it's right. You almost walked into it. You walked around it. Like, you had to go around the sign in order to just like, oh, I didn't see it. I'm like, how?
I feel like in those situations, like we choose to see like there's something there, but our brain goes, we're not gonna compute. We're not gonna actually like process what this information is in front of our face.
Yeah. And yeah, that was Steve, and then there was a lady trying to go in the out on the other side, but there was a guy that he was specifically there to make sure that no one goes in the out. When she had to go and stand in the now very long line outside. Like, when we had gotten there, we were like second or third person to be like, and it went in pretty quickly. But as we were leaving, they ran out of dots to stand in. So
yeah, luckily I didn't have that issue when I went. There really wasn't, like, I got right in. But like I said, I was just surprised though of like the lack of stuff that they had. And then, like I said, with Wise, I mean, they had everything like pretty obviously, like it was, you would have to like try to break into the place or step over shit to like fuck that up. You know what I mean? So they don't really have to have too many employees out there directing traffic, so to speak. But aside for that one guy, but again, they had those doors locked, so you couldn't go in, only out. So that kind of did it like for the employees of just standing there with their popcorn, like, look at this fool.
Yeah, I think because there were automatic doors, they couldn't. I don't know if you can turn off the sensor for the other side.
They must have, because I'm pretty sure theirs are automatic.
Yeah.
Or I don't know if there's like a manual lock too that you could do both. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that I don't know, but they had these poor people. But they would switch out every hour, I guess. But still, it sucks. I'm just like, I'm not sure how you can ignore all of the signs everywhere.
I hate it when, one of my kind of newer pet peeves, I hate it when somebody asks you for advice or something, like what to do, and then they'll ask the same thing somebody else a couple minutes later.
Yeah.
And it's like, I just had that conversation with said person and I gave them advice and or specific directives. I don't understand. Or vice versa. Like, I'll have somebody that comes to me and then I find out, I'm like, well, didn't so-and-so already talked to you about this? Like, why are we having this conversation? Like, what new or different information are you expecting to get from the other person by asking? Like, I don't understand. It's such a waste of time.
Yeah. I hate when people come to you for advice and then don't take it, or they do the opposite. Be like, oh, I don't know what to do in this situation. Be like, oh, okay, well, based on my experience, X, Y, and Z. They're like, oh, okay. That you just gave me a map for what I can do the exact opposite for. So I'm good, great, love it. And to be fair, I know people have to like learn from their own mistakes and you can't really make anyone do anything. They have to want to do it for themselves. But after a while, I lose my patience.
Yep.
So people that like, so the people like how what you were referencing, like they're asking all these different people for advice, and I guarantee they're not going to do any of it. They're not.
No. Some of it's like advice, and then some of it's very specific. You know, this is what needs to be done. So just go do it. And I'll get a couple minutes later, well, hey, did so and so ask him, like, are you fucking kidding me? So and so should have done XYZ 20 minutes ago. Why are they talking to you about this? Or vice versa.
They want an answer that no one is giving them.
Yeah, but I just people learn. Like it's not. I don't know. It just pisses me off so much. Or like I said, I've had the opposite happen where they talk to somebody else and they come to me about, and I'm like, all right, well then, if so and so who typically outranks me told you to do XYZ, why are you not doing it? Why are we having this conversation? Like, I don't understand, and that just gets under my skin.
Like, work is full of people like that. They get an answer that they don't want, so they go kind of like kids. They go to mom, they get an answer they don't like, so they go to dad, and dad, could give them the same answer or might give them a different answer, and they'll keep going until they get the answer that they want to hear. And we're like, oh, well, so and so told me to do this, and you're like, what the fuck? You went through literally everyone else on the line, and they gave you the same answer. Then you go to this person who has no authority whatsoever, and they told you to do this, and that's how you get people eating Tide Pods.
Yeah. I don't know. It's like, I mean, I know like all of us as children have played that game. Like I definitely played that game with my parents all the time. And 99%, I don't know why I did, because 99% of the time my dad would be like, well, just go ask your mother. Shit.
Yeah. No, I had the same thing. Sometimes it would be like, oh, okay, well, go ask your mother. Go to mom. All right, no, go ask your father. Like, I just did. He told me to ask you. And she was like, well, I don't know. Like, all right, I'll go fuck myself then. Okay, cool.
Well, I think sometimes too, like you start to get clever the older you get, of just like, well, what'd your mother say? She said it was fine, but to ask you. And dad was never ever going to like double check with her, so it's like, all right, fine, just go sit on the roof then if that's what you want to do. Sweet. And that like causes inaccurate information of argument between the two of them. Like, why would you tell her that you told her that you could do that? I never said such.
And then they both turn on you, and then you next minute, you're grounded.
Yeah, I did that like a lot. I mean, they eventually caught on, but it was like an obnoxious amount of times that I tried to like pull that game.
You're a naughty, naughty kid.
I was an asshole. I was a terrible kid.
I don't know. My mom will say that I was an angel, but I guarantee I gave them both a fair share of headaches.
I remember like, speaking of like irrational fears and stuff as kids, like I had a fear of crabs for a long time. So at the Maryland Science Center, it's in the harbor, but on the other side of the harbor.
The harbor.
So it's across the harbor on the other side, away from the aquarium. So, but it's a huge science center place, and they still have that crab there. So Will and I went last summer. We went down for 4th of July. So I've never taken him into the science center, so we went down there. But they had this massive crab, like bigger than a human, just huge crab, like in a fake terrarium type thing of like where it would be out in the wild. And as a kid, like I have no idea if this is even accurate, but as a kid, I could have sworn that when you got close to it, it like moved. But it was huge, especially it's like big as an adult. So as a child, it's like this thing's it's just gonna crush me in half. It's gonna take those little pinchers and just kill me.
Yeah.
So, but I remember like as a kid getting close to it, and wherever it was at, it was like very dark. So it was like in a very dark corner, which is very creepy looking. And I'm sure my dad probably tried to scare the shit out of me with this thing of like, probably said he was going to feed it to me or something. So it terrified me, like absolutely petrified me, would like throw a fit anytime we got near it when we went to go visit. Like the type of fit where other people are like, take your child out of here. So like as a kid then, like anytime we would do cookouts and we would make live, like steam live crabs, they would scare me to death because I'm they're gonna get me. And I'm sure my family, knowing their sick sense of humor, probably didn't help with that because I'm sure they were just like, here's a crab, gonna get you. Yeah.
Oh, that's
so love to eat them. They kind of freak me out.
Yeah, you wouldn't have liked their there's this one TikTok video I saw where I don't know who was traveling with a whole cooler of crabs, live crabs, but they ended up on the luggage corral thing, just all over the place. Like the cooler dumped open and just all these fucking crabs are like walking around. And they really, I could have sworn that I heard them go, hey, hey, hey. But like the person taking the video was just like, he could not contain his laughter. He's just like, what the fuck? Like, it was so absurd. Just like regular luggage going around the corral and then just an absurd amount of crabs. Just like scuttling about.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not like as an adult, I think I've gotten over my fear of it a little bit. Like I'm still not a fan. Again, I'll eat them, but like don't ask me to help you steam live crabs. I don't really want to get that close to them. Hermit crabs are terrifying.
Hermit crabs?
Hermit crabs are terrifying.
Hermit crabs?
Yes.
I beans?
Yeah. Have you ever seen what those things look like when they're like almost completely out of their shell? They're disgusting. They're so scary looking. Just let it out. Just let it out.
I'm fine.
All right, so I don't know if something happened.
So you can't go to a fair or anything where they're just giving out hermit crabs, right?
It's just like, I don't want one. I'm good. Like, you keep your little fucking alien crab spider things over there. Oh.
That's kind of funny.
All right, so what happened was.
Go on.
I don't remember anything happening like when I was little. So, but I feel like something must have. But so I was like right about 13. So we went to the beach as a family. I happened to find a live one. So like out in the ocean, found one. I was like, oh my God, that's so cool. It's kind of creepy looking, but like I'm gonna take it home because who's ever gonna find a live hermit crab out of the sea? You always have to buy them on the boardwalk. So like I scoop them up, put them in a cup, and of course my little sister is like, I want one. So we bought her a domesticated one, bring them home, and mine killed hers and ate it. So we had to go buy her another one. So at that point I was kind of like, all right, that's a little freaky that mine ate. Okay, that's unsettling. So my mom and I went up to like the local pet store. And I don't know why, but we went on the way to the mall. So went to the pet store first, then the mall, came home. We're my dad's pickup truck, which isn't like a big one. It's just one cat. Like if you fit 3 people in there, you're squished. So when we went to the pet store, I don't know why, but they gave us like the hermit crab in a brown paper bag. That's what they put it in. So like, all right, that's kind of weird, but whatever. So like we get out of the truck to go into the mall and we kind of just, sat it up in the seat. So we come back and it's gone. Like the bag's fallen over, it's gone. But I'm like, where could this hermit crab possibly have gotten to that we can't find it in the cab of the truck? Like, well, clearly it didn't get out of the truck. So like, let's just go home. Like it'll emerge. Well, it did. And I almost caused an accident. We almost ran off the road. So I'm talking to my mom and I feel like a hole in my shirt. And I look down and this fucking creepy thing is almost out of its shell, just looking up at me like, I just freaked out. I completely lost. And I started like, my mom was like thinking that I was actually in some sort of danger. Almost ran off the road. She was so mad. She leaned over and was just like, are you serious? I'm like, no, I don't understand. The thing was just like, fucking looking at this beady little eyes and his like little mouth. Gross. Okay. There's my. I lied yesterday when I said I didn't have any irrational fears and started thinking about it. I'm like, yes, you do.
She's like, I don't have any irrational fears. And I'm like, I think you're a lying liar from Myersburg. I'm pretty sure that you must. Everyone does. So, hermit crabs. But, one of my irrational fears is, wax figures. So, I can't, I will not go into like a wax museum. And I'm not even a huge, like, I think that also makes me like not a huge fan of mannequins or anything either. But mostly wax figures because they try to make them look so realistic. But it's like that weird uncanny valley kind of thing where like they try to make them look lifelike, but there's just something so not lifelike about it. And they're creepy. And I hate them, and they give me the Wiggins, and I don't like it. But it stems from, and this was a revelation that I had yesterday, it stems from the Lackawanna Coal Mine Tour, which is a tour in our area because our area is known for coal. That's how we put Scranton on the map, the Electric City. But anyway, it's an attraction in our area that a lot of schools in this area, they would take the students on field trips to the coal mine tour. So if you go as a child, it is terrifying because they actually take you down into a mine. It's not an active mine that they're working on or anything, because they set it up specifically for the store. So they have wax figures down there. They're in weird contorted positions because everything's cramped and everything. And I must have blocked it out of my mind, but there's a dismembered hand. When you get close to it, it would move. But they take you down into the mine in this rickety ass cart elevator, and it starts getting cold as you're going down into the mine because you're in the earth. You're in a coal mine, and it's terrifying. And they have like kid figures down there because they would have kids working in the mine, and they're all bent over and like dusty looking. And like I said, they're kind of, because the mines aren't, they're not meant for like standing up freely and moving about. Like everyone's kind of hunched over and creepy looking. And I don't know who this adult chaperone was, but I remember crawling up onto his shoulders and crying from start to finish. Like I was literally like on his shoulders and just bawling from everywhere you turn. It was terrifying. I mean, if you go down there as an adult, it might be different, but I haven't been there since because I have such fear. And like anytime I think about going on the coal mine tour, I'm like, I don't think there's anything for me. I don't think that's not part of my journey. But it's like, I understand what they're doing. They're trying to show you what it was like in the life of a coal miner. It is not a glamorous lifestyle. It's terrifying. A lot of people didn't live very long because that's how they got the black lung pop. And it's but Christina also went on the tour as a child, and that's where she believes her fear of wax figures stemmed as well. 'Cause they're, oh God. So I will not go. Fuck Madame Tussauds. She's a twat. I will not go. I don't like.
I've just
I
I've never understood like the fascination with wax figures of like why people would want to pay to see life like wax renderings of celebrities and like famous people. I don't get it. Like I've never not that I'm scared of it. I just don't understand the appeal of it.
I don't know, and I don't like when the celebrity will go stand next to their wax figure. It's like, why? Don't you think that's creepy? Someone made a rendering of you out of creepy ass wax, and now you're standing next to it. What if it somehow reanimated and killed you and it took over your life? How would you feel
Weird
about that?
doppelganger.
Yeah, I don't. Mm-mm. Mm-mm. I don't care for it. So, wax figures, mannequins. Not a huge fan of, oh god, ventriloquist dolls either.
No.
So,
Ceramic dolls, like the old school ceramic dolls that had like the eyes that moved.
yeah.
That was like, back in the day when they were first made. I mean, if you had a ceramic doll like that back in the day, like you were probably someone from high society, like it was a sign of money, right? My grandmother collected them for a long time. Now she had like some of the smaller ones. So she had one, I don't know whatever happened to them, but she had one of Red Butler, like basically almost like half the main cast of Gone with the Wind.
Yeah.
She had Queen of Hearts. A couple that were like pretty. So, they were like Barbie's, like a little bit bigger than Barbie size, but not like creepy. They were like, kind of pretty. You knew where they were from.
Yeah.
And then she had one that was just a doll with like, she almost reminded me of the dolls that Kirsten Dunst's little vampire character from Vampire Collected.
Yeah.
Those. Now, of course, like when I was a kid, I didn't know that the movie wasn't even around. That's kind of like the doll that it was. Kind of reminded me of it. It looked like her with like the curly blonde hair and stuff. But it just looked like they tried to make the eyes look real and they moved, but it just almost looked like dead eyes, kind of like it just creeped me out. But she would always have it in the spare bedroom, just like all popped up, like sitting in like a wicker chair, like it was all cute. I'm like, I would anytime I stayed the night at her house, I had to move it. Like I had to move it out to the living room. It could not be in the same room with me. And I think some of that had to do with like my dad always watching scary movies with us as a kid.
Yeah.
Like watching things like Chucky or the movie dolls stuff. And my dad would always feed into like the fear. So like going to her house, I'm like, there it is. There's one. It's gonna kill me. So those things they gave me like the heebie-jeebies. They gave me the willies. Like I don't want to be around one. I don't want one in the same room while I'm sleeping. My grandfather thought it was a hilarious joke when I moved into our house, and he was like going through my grandmother's things after she passed to mail it to me. That specific doll.
Wow. What a jackass.
I think it's still in our basement. It's just
a perfect place for it to be. I wouldn't leave it there.
I don't know. Because I'm like, I don't really want to get rid of it, but I don't really want it like in the main living quarters of the house either.
No, but
yeah. So there was just like they gave me the willies. Like I don't want to be near them. Like I'm just waiting anytime I turn my back to just hear like little pure patter of feet. Just.
Oh God, yeah, that's not good. I'm not hugely afraid of heights, but they make me uncomfortable, and I can kind of get like, what? Because, and I could be not remembering this correctly, but I went to, I think it was a family trip down to the Franklin Institute down in Philly, which is a really cool science institute. They have a lot of cool things for like that big bowl thing, right, where you're on the one side of a room and you're like whispering and the person on the other side of the room can hear you.
Yeah.
They have shit like that there, but I'm pretty sure, this is what I remembered and I could have been making it up, that they had this one thing, and I think they moved it inside because maybe someone died, I don't know. But it was this bike that they attached you to that you would
What?
go and bike out over a building. I will.
Hi.
Um so like you're strapped into this bike. You're the buildings in Philly were they're pretty tall, but you would bike out and you would be like suspended out over the city. And I remember looking down and be like, this. And like, thinking back, I'm like, they allowed that to happen. Like they would allow you to, they would strap you to a bike, and you would just pedal out and just be suspended out. Like you're part of a skyscraper, and you're just looking down at the ant cars driving by. So
Yeah.
I'm not sure if that was actually what they had set up at the Franklin Institute, or if it was something that is just like a weird elaborate dream that I have. I don't remember my dreams that well, so I don't think it's a dream. But I remember visiting it the institute like years later and seeing that bike thing inside where they would bike from like one balcony to the other instead of it being outside. So I'm like,
That's what I remember. But I mean, I didn't go down there as a kid, so
yeah, I want to say that it must have been a lawsuit, or they realized, yeah, this probably isn't the best idea. But yeah, that's where I remember my fear of shit like that, like just being suspended, looking down where your death could happen. Like I'm not hugely afraid of heights, but I would not go up on a building and look down. No.
birds. Not a huge fan of birds.
Fuck birds. Fuck
No.
birds.
So I like growing up at my grandmother's house. She had a really cute like lovebird. So only about yay big. She was very sweet. They let her fly. Like her wings were clipped, but she could fly like around a little bit. She would just like chill on your shoulder, just hang out, whatever. So she was cool. And then my uncle had one of those little, like the smaller cockatoos. It was a fucking tool bag. That bird was the fucking devil. His name was Malachi. So that should be like a nice hint for you right there.
Yep.
But he would be another one, leave him out of his cage. And, so I'd be like going downstairs to watch TV, and it would just dive bomb at you and just like, puffed up. Like it was a bro bird, which is like, come at me. You're in my space. What? And as a kid, like a little kid, you're just like, I could easily squash this thing. It's not actually going to like hurt me. But, to me, I'm like, it's gonna fall my eyes out, and then it's just going to pick out the goo of my eyes as I'm there, just in the ground, helpless. Like it's all I envisioned. Like it was the devil. I fucking hated it. And then I was probably before we moved up to PA, maybe about 11. We went out to Pittsburgh to visit like old neighbors that we like had gotten close to, and we're living in Baltimore. And they had like name's right at the tip of my tongue, place where you can go and like look at birds.
An aviary.
You know what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah, the bird place.
Bird sanctuary thing.
Yeah.
We went there, and most of it's just like regular glass enclosures, whatever, which is really pretty. And then they have
tardigrades.
Yes. And I'm saying yes, and I'm like, I don't know why I'm saying yes, because that doesn't sound right. Is this what our other conversation?
Yes, I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure. Hold on 1 second.
Early this morning, we were talking about mass extinctions and certain like little microscopic beings who have survived all mass extinctions, and I think that's what she just remembered. But anyways, yes. So we had like that was it.
That's it. These things.
Oh yeah, they don't look at bears. There's nothing bear-like about them.
Well, when you look at them from really far away, known colloquially. say the term colloquially as water bears.
What? All right, so you were right.
So fuck you. Oh my god, or moss piglets.
Oh, that's adorable. That's so cute.
They're a phylum of water-dwelling, eight-legged, segmented micro-animals. Okay. I'm so glad I remembered that. Whew. All right. So yeah,
Atrium.
that was eight. What? An atrium?
Yeah, it's like where the bird things go, right? Atrium. Or is that for the flowers?
Oh shit. Wait, what? No, wait, hold on 1 second. Mountain Standard Time. That would be. No. Okay,
What?
we're good. I had thought I had gotten an email and I thought that I missed the meeting already, and I was like, oh shit.
Oh,
No.
you're good.
We're good. But
Anyways.
yeah, I think atrium, is that for the birds? We have to do our research before we start talking about
It never occurred to me that I was going to bring this up, so I didn't think to be like, hey, what is this term? And my phone is a slow piece of crap. Come on. Wow, this thing is a piece of crap. Oh my god.
I will search. Hold on.
I got it.
No. Bird. Birds. Aviary.
There we go.
That's kind of like what I said. Avi something.
Yeah. All right. Atrium.
Aviary.
Aviary. And we went to a fucking aviary. 10 minutes later, to tell you that I went. Anyways, so we're walking around looking at like the safe birds that are like behind the plexiglass that are all pretty, and whoever designed this fucking place is an idiot, because they had 2 rooms that you go into where they're just flying around freely, which is fine, aside for the fact that the doors leading in and out were automatic. So ain't nothing staying in that room safely if they don't want to. And apparently when we went, it was during mating season for most of these birds.
Oh god.
So I don't know what bird we got close to or what kind it was, but the thing was fucking huge. Like, I don't think it was able to fly type of bird, kind of like a penguin. But it was like at least 3 feet tall. It was big. And apparently we got too close to something. So we're like, all right, it started to like, kind of walk after us. So we're like, all right, just calmly, like, we'll just walk out, which would have been fine had it not been automatic doors, so it could just follow us and just walk right out with us. So the next thing we know, it's chasing us down the hallway and pecking at our feet. And this thing is huge. Like, it's massive.
God.
So all of us with like other little kids, like a baby. So it's just like, we're just like pushing its cart, like, no! So of course, the faster we run, the faster Chase is after us. It's like pecking at our ankles. And finally we come around a corner and there's like a staff member who's just like, again? I'm like, again? What do you mean again? How often does this happen? Why are you doing something about it?
Oh my god. George got out again.
It's like, yeah, fuck birds. That's clearly where my fear of birds stems from.
Oh god, yeah, I have a similar experience with that. My sister-in-law likes birds, and she had this one evil bird. And apparently this is quite common with birds, and maybe I don't know if it's like all birds or birds in like the parrot family, but she had a sun conure named Sunshine. I called it Spawn of Satan. Beelzebub. Old Scratch. So this thing started out liking everyone. You know, very very sweet. She would she couldn't really fly, wasn't supposed to fly that well. Um but she would go over on to like your shoulder, and if you were a woman, she would crawl down into your shirt, hook onto your bra, and fall asleep in between your boobs. So you would just have like this third boob lump right in the middle, and she would just sleep there. And like when she would go to wake up, she would peek her head out of your shirt and be like, "Oh, hey, sunshine, whatever." And I don't know, something happened. She started hating everyone except for my dad. So she would end up like dive bombing you like at your neck,
Oh my god.
and she would, you know, beak and talons flying at your neck. It looked like I was rapidly attacked by a raccoon or something like that, or I had weird little like tiny hickey beak marks. They're like, "Oh, you got lucky," and I'm like, "No, no, I was savagely attacked by a winged fiend." So it got to the point where she eventually started tolerating Laura again, my brother's wife, and she was like, but you couldn't be let out after, like, unless it was just her and Laura, like, because
Right.
she would just be mad. She would get all puffed up, and after a while, you know, I didn't help the situation because I'd be like, "Fuck you, sunshine, fuck you," you know, be like, "What? What are you gonna do? What? What?" When you're in your stupid little cage, you're just gonna start like, she's biting on the bars, like, I'm just like, you no. So that's where my fear came from, and that was, I think, high school. Like, I think I was fine with birds beforehand, but they're always dangerous to have when you have cats. And I
Yeah.
remember the great parakeet massacre.
Oh no. Oh.
We had parakeets growing up, and they're cute little birds. They I've never experienced one going like rabid, like the sun conure. So we had cats and we had birds. The parakeets we had in a little parakeet cage attached to the ceiling, kind of away from anything where like the cats could try to like jump up at it. But one night we had some very determined cats at some point, because we'd had the parakeets for a while, I believe. And one night I came downstairs. One morning I came downstairs and feathers everywhere. My parents had already been up. They just they hadn't gotten rid of the evidence yet, so there were just dead parakeets in a plastic bag. Like, eyes are still open, but there's blood everywhere, and I'm like,
Oh, traumatizing.
oh god, just the massacre. It was everywhere. So we didn't actually have birds after that. I mean,
Right,
kind
so
of, yeah, the small animals. There were a lot of incidents between that and cats. When you walk in on your hamster that eating its own babies, like, that's traumatizing too.
we had I had a teddy bear hamster for a while, and that thing chewed out of every cage we had purchased for it, including a metal one. That one took a little bit longer to get out of, but it eventually did. I don't even know how many times it got out of the cage. But for whatever reason, it would always either end up in the bathroom to where it would inevitably like just chill out waiting for my dad to come in to like pee in the morning or in the middle of the night to bite its foot. So I would just hear my dad in the middle of the night, like, what the fuck? Or it would hide in its shoe. So it just, I don't know, it had it out for my dad. Like, it just had it out for my dad. And but finally one night though, it got downstairs like late enough and alone enough where my dog at the time was like, oh cool, something to play with.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it like broke its poor little back. Yeah.
We had
Yeah.
we had friends that I think they were I think they were pet sitting the class pet, which was a hamster, I believe. I think it was a class pet. I don't know. These people were not they were not the owners of this hamster. They were just, I think, taking care of it for
Mhm.
someone, and I think it was a class pet. But they had the hamster in the cage in the car, and it had a little metal ladder to go up to a ramp somehow, and it was a dwarf hamster. Somehow the hamster got caught in between the rungs and broke its own neck.
Oh God.
That was also traumatizing. So that was not us. That was a friend of mine, but I was still present for that because I think I was going over to their house, and they had to get a new class pet.
Oh God. It's like that episode of Fresh Prince where Phil sat on the rabbit.
Yeah,
That episode?
I don't remember Fresh Prince, but it's something like that.
Yeah, it was his Will Smith's like younger cousin, like the youngest of the family, had a pet rabbit that she was like just in love with, loved this damn thing. Uncle Phil was kind of like, it's a rabbit, like get it out of my way, like whatever, just wasn't thrilled with it. And for whatever reason, she must have like just brought it home or something. I don't know why, but it was in like a shoebox, like chilling in the living room. So I don't know if she was like cleaning out its cage and put it in there or left something. I don't know, but he sat on it
He sat on a shoebox?
with the rabbit in it. So
But still,
he crushed the rabbit to death.
I I get that, but why would you even sit on a shoebox to begin with?
He wasn't paying attention. He was just like had food, was reading the paper, wasn't paying attention,
Oh,
sat down and just
that poor bunny.
so he had to like try to remember what the bunny looked like
Oh,
in condition to go buy another one. And she knew, she's like, your fat ass little my goddamn rat.
one of the classic sitcom stories. The beloved pet either runs away or ends up dying, and then they have to find the replacement that looks like it, and it's just
Never works out.
Oh my god. Ay ay ay.
Well,
So many traumatizing animal stories. Sorry, what?
oh, yeah. Yeah, I'm sure if I thought of some more, there'd probably be some more traumatizing pet stories. But I think that just almost comes with like a price of childhood. That's why I think when we learn about loss and nothing's permanent, it's a hard lesson.
Mm-hmm. And that's where a lot of our traumas come from and fears. I don't know where my fear of spiders came from. I think that's just
Fuck no, I don't even have a bad experience with them either. No, because they're just fucking terrifying. They're goddamn terrifying, and they're disgusting, and most of them can kill you with one little bite or make your life a living hell. They're just fucking awful, and I hate them.
yeah.
Like with a passion, I don't even want to look at a picture of one. I'll vomit. Get it away from me.
I'm not that bad. Like I can look at they still kind of creep me out. I like the movie Arachnophobia. But
No.
I'm not going to hold one. There was like a little jumping spider that ended up in my car the other day. I named her Meredith. I don't know where she is, but she would just start making a little she would start making a web on the steering wheel. I'm like, Meredith, what are you doing? And I went to go grab the auxiliary cable to plug into my phone, and she was on the end of it. So I went to go pick it up, and she was on it. I was like, yeah! And ever since then, I haven't seen her. She did like crawl away, but I don't know what happened to her after that. And there was one in the bathroom. I named him Greg. I don't know where he went. I think as soon as I name a spider, they seem to go away. So maybe that's just the trick.
If I see one, they're gonna die immediately. Immediately death.
Why not just at least try to relocate them outside? They don't have to die.
Because then they'll come back in and lay eggs in my ear. Where my goes with that. It's just gonna set up shop in my ear, and that's just where it's gonna live.
Did you watch too many The Monsters Inside Me episodes?
No, I don't. There must have. I must have had some interaction as a child or heard some story. I don't know, but no, that's immediately where my head goes with that. I'm like, they're just gonna end up either biting me, and it's gonna be the wrong, it's gonna be like brown recluse, and I'm at to like amputate my fucking foot, or they're gonna just end up like burrowing its way into my ear. I don't know. They just have to go. Preferably, if somebody is near me, I will have somebody else do the killing for me. If no one's around me, I will suck it up and kill it for fear that it'll get on me later.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. But yeah, I'm interested to see. There must have been something,
That must have, something terrible must have happened.
and you're just blocking it out, the trauma. That's I would love to delve deep into your mind and find where it came from.
I mean, I remember getting a spider bite on my foot as a kid. And my mom's like, "Well, it's clearly a spider bite, like, because it itched and it got a little puppy, but that was about it."
Mm-hmm.
And then I remember being in like this kids, like we went over this one family's house after school to be watched, and they had like a really sweet tree house that had a zip line kind of thing,
Oh,
but
cool.
just small enough for kids. You just, that's how you can get out if you wanted to go down the steps. And do you remember seeing like this, what I thought was like a monkey ball type thing, like a pokey thing in there? And I touched it, and it was just daddy long legs, just went everywhere. So I remember just like jumping on like a little zip line, just zip line it the fuck out of there. But those are the only two like things that I remember as a kid experiencing. So I don't know if that little experience was enough for me to be like, they all must die fiery, painful death, or there was something that happened. I don't know.
I mean, I think witnessing the birth of like all of those spiders, that's kind of terrifying.
Hundreds of them just went everywhere.
That happened in the previous apartment, like previous boyfriend. They had there was a nest, a little egg sac in the light. So they burst out and then just all over the ceiling. I was like, ah! Like they were everywhere.
Oh my god, that's fucking, I'm gonna have nightmares tonight. That's awful.
Sorry. But yeah, that was not fun. But I can deal with them better than I think you can.
I'm sure of it.
And also hermit crabs.
So great.
But maybe you would have to hold my hand if we ever, for whatever reason, decided to go through the coal mine tour again.
I've never been, so.
Well, I will. If you wanted to go, I might go with you. I don't think I would want to go though. It's not. It's not. It's not fun.
No.
So, how are we on time? I don't know.
It's that time.
It's that time. It's that time of the morning, night, whatever time it is. Well, anyway, so next week, I will recap on Ever After. I will make sure that I watch it between then and now. And we're going to talk about aliens and multiverses on the next episode, so that's going to be interesting. We're going to make sure that we do our research.
Yes.
Probably won't, if we're being honest with you. That's kind of our shtick, is we make an ass out of ourselves talking about different topics. That's just how it goes. Yeah. But anyway, I hope you guys are staying safe. If you have to go out, please be careful. Wear a mask. And you can find us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. No, I'm Just a Worm or Glitter Budget. And yeah, we'll see you next time. Okay? Bye-bye.
Bye. Bye.